Hey everyone, welcome to Digging In. Today we have Marcos Almonte Perez. And Marcos is our lead in our leadership development division here at Eagle Center for Leadership. Marcos, thank you for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So Marcos is one of our resident Lions, and we are going to be talking about understanding a lion. We've been doing that the last couple of months, and we want to look at and capitalize on the insights from a true lion. Now, Marcos is a mixture in our personality profile. He is a strong lion. He also has other traits and tendencies, and so we're really going to glean on that primary today and learn from you. So thank you for being a lion today.
Sure.
All right.
Hear me roar.
All right, Lions, you like that. So Marcos, describe for us, let's just get going and get you thinking about and helping us understand from your perspective, from a lion's perspective, describe a lion to us.
I think if there's one word, it's task. We like to get stuff done. And one of the big things, not just getting it done, but getting it done as quickly as possible, right? So efficiency is the key for a lion. So we want to get as much stuff done as we possibly can. So like a perfect example is, and I think a lot of people struggle with this, but the grocery store. So I come home and I want to bring all 20 bags in at the same time versus taking my chiropractor's advice and doing maybe 5 at a time. So getting it done, getting as much done as possible. And so they're very outgoing too, so we're not afraid of talking to people and engaging them, so being in front. And so that's, I think, in a nutshell, what a lion looks like.
I love the grocery store example. That is just true. I mean, it's just so true. So tell me, what about the lion? They are willing to talk to others. They live by this. Let's get it done now. Let's do it now. How do you see? What does that do for them? Living by a do it now mentality. Does it help them? Do more, get more accomplished? Does it help them succeed more? What do you find that do it now mentality does for lions?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps them probably do more than a lot of other people do in terms of quantity. I think as a lion, we don't worry as much about the quality. That might be the camel trait. So we might get a lot more done, on a day-to-day. In terms of being successful, I think if we're being honest, right, as lions, there are a lot of times where while we're about efficiency, in the desire to do so much and do it so quickly, we have to, like I sometimes joke, we forget about the mess we made along the way and to come back and clean it up or sometimes have to redo some things that we did too quickly, not really looking at some of the details that are necessary. So
very good point. Very good point. So what about being validated? So we talk about validating other personalities and those things that help each personality feel valued. What about for a lion?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is when people recognize that you've accomplished a task and then ask you what's next, or if they're in the position to delegate, what's the next challenge upwards, right? So a lion, if they do a really great job at something and it's an important, significant project or something, they want to know, since I accomplished this satisfactory to the person, what's the next big challenge, right? They don't want to go backwards and do something, not that we're not willing to serve, but we're looking what's bigger, what's next to be able to engage. And so it's a validation. We don't need to have people spend a lot of time acknowledging everything we did. Just, hey, you got it done, it's great, here's what's next.
What happens when somebody overdoes it in that area? Maybe they spend too much time talking about something specific that you've accomplished. What does that do for a lion?
I think it's going to vary, a little bit depending on the lion, but by and large, after some time, you start to think, okay, we could be doing stuff instead of talking about it, so it definitely, we like our egos to be rubbed a little bit, massaged, but still like, okay, what's next, so.
So with lions, we need to be quick and concise
Yeah.
and set the next big opportunity.
Yeah.
Because big projects are important projects.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do lions communicate from your perspective? What does that sound like or look like?
Yeah. Again, it's in the vein of speed and efficiency. So bottom line, what's the black and white? Give me the final answer. I know there's been many times where my wife was telling me a story and I'm kind of like, okay, well, so what happened in the end? Like your details are great for the story, but I want to know what's the end, So what is, we communicate by, here's what you need to know, the black and white bottom line. And so to be communicated with is probably the same way.
So when someone is giving you so many details, that causes your mind to try to fast forward. Is that what happens?
Yeah, I just want to get to it. Like in school, I would always, I'm glad that a lot of papers had an abstract, a study, because I'm like, okay, I want to know what's the main takeaway here. I'll read the rest of it, but I want to know what is the main takeaway.
And so you connect well, I'm assuming, to someone that naturally can give you the bottom line, and you like to give the bottom line as a lion.
Yeah.
It helps you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll get to the next point.
Okay. Speaking of.
So we talked about how you communicate, how you validate. Now let's spend a little bit on the conflict piece. And so lions they're not afraid of conflict. Is that true? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think anyone enjoys conflict, and that includes the lions. I think it's more because we're so task-oriented, we want to resolve it, right, as soon as possible. And it could be conflict with the person or something else. I'll give you a perfect example. I've taught myself not to open mail late at night. Because if I get something in the mail that I need to address, my lion wants to call them right away. And it might be a business that's not even open at that time. So, the lion mode is in conflict. How soon can we talk about this? It's still coming out of the comfort zone for a lion, but in terms of let's not put this off tomorrow if we can have the conversation today.
I like how you frame that, because I think sometimes we may have a tendency to paint lions as they like conflict, that they want a little bit of that to kind of stir things up. But your point is a little different, that they want to get it accomplished. They want to get whatever the issue is and move it on to the next place. So as a lion, I want to ask you about conflict, because you're a lion that has grown and developed. You're always growing. You want to challenge yourself. You want to grow as a leader. So how have you found as a lion that you've really grown in the area of conflict? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think where I've grown the most is recognizing pace and balance. And so while my lion tendency is to let's solve this now, I have to think it's not about me, it's about the other person where there might be conflict. Is going too fast gonna maybe help us miss an opportunity, or how's it gonna affect the conversation? And so finding the right pace. So I don't want to wait too long, because then my lion mode is gonna gear up. But maybe I shouldn't go too fast into it. Because part of it is learning wisdom, right? We've talked about the wise mind before. And so thinking about, okay, here's how I feel, but here's logic and reason. And when would be the right appropriate time, not just for me, but for the other individual, to have the best probability of success in solving that conflict.
Such a good word, pace. What's your pace? So how do other lions, first of all, let's think about, I want to kind of add a little piece of other lions. How do, first of all, other lions view lions, and then other personalities. Let's the lion to lion. How do they view each other?
Yeah. I think while lions to lions would find some agreement, right, in terms of the task-oriented, let's get stuff done. There's a competitive nature amongst lions, and so. As I like to joke, if everything was run by lions, we actually might, while we're task-oriented, we might not get a lot done because we'd be butting heads all the time, right? Who's going to take the lead and who has to ride away, and And so I think that's where other Lions can see it from a competitive perspective. And that's a challenge, right? For other Lions. Other personalities, I think, see the Lions as back to pace, just too fast. It's just like there's a leader I was working with, and he just runs all over the place, getting a lot of stuff done, very similar to me. But his team was getting burnt out by just watching his pace, right? And so sometimes other people might say, you might be getting a lot done, but we can't keep up with you, and we're gonna burn out. Just watching you do that, and that's not helpful. We could be seen as rude or arrogant because we just want to get straight to the point and cut through all the relational pieces, and then connecting, and so pace and the relational piece can be affected by the way that we interact, and so other personalities might see that, and those that are more camel detail oriented, they would probably drive them nuts because while we're both task oriented, they care about the details, and we care about just getting it done and worry about the details later, which is just a nightmare for a camel. So
yeah. So the example that you're giving too about the leader that runs so fast that can really run out past their team, and that can exhaust people, exhaust our camels, and really create an environment where it can't work together. That's a good example. I think there's a lot that Lions can kind of take away from that I can take away from that. So our last piece is, what do we need to know? So let's think about just kind of ending on a nugget. What is a nugget that our audience needs to know about the lion? So we've got turtles, we've got camels, we've got monkeys, we have lions, but what's a nugget from a lion to others that you can share with us?
Yeah, I think we hit it on a little bit. We as Lions also have our comfort zones, and so while we're very driven to get stuff done, we're still human beings, right? And so we sometimes can be seen as robotic in that it's task, like putting data in, data out, and we do have emotions, and so that's one big thing. We're human, we have emotions, and I think if we're going to work well together with the other personalities, back to the validation, let me know what I can do to help you and support you, because we are task driven. So.
Very good word. Appreciate you as a Lion, and so thankful to have Marcos on our team. He does a tremendous job in helping to lead our business clients and helping them to grow. So we really appreciate you. We hope you take some of these thoughts and create some nuggets for yourself and really analyze that and figure out how you as a Lion can lead better, or you can connect with a Lion better. Thank you for being with us.
To learn more about the concepts from this video, you can find Dr. Larry Little's book, Crossing the Line, available to purchase on Amazon and our website, eaglecenterforleadership.com. You can also find the podcast, Crossing the Line with Larry Little, available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or online at eaglecenterforleadership.com. Thank you for watching.